There is a certain magic to recipes passed down through generations. They are more than mere lists of ingredients and instructions. They are stories, memories, and traditions, seasoned with the wisdom of those who came before us. Imagine a quiet morning in a village kitchen, sunlight streaming through lace curtains, the soft clatter of bowls and spoons of familiar music. Today, we take a humble zucchini and 2 fresh eggs and, guided by the gentle hands of a grandmother, transform them into something truly special. Begin by selecting your zucchini, firm, with a glossy skin and no blemishes, the kind that might have been plucked that very morning from a garden patch behind the house. Wash it well, feeling the cool water run over your hands, and then pat it dry. The next step is to grate the zucchini, using the large holes of a box grater. As you work, the kitchen fills with the fresh, green scent of the vegetable, and you recall your grandmother's voice, reminding you to always use the whole zucchini, no waste, and every part contributes to the dish. Once grated, the zucchini is placed into a clean kitchen towel or a piece of cheesecloth. Gather the corners and twist, squeezing out as much liquid as possible. This step is crucial, your grandmother would say, because too much moisture will keep the dish from coming together properly. The liquid runs out, a pale green, and you marvel at how much water the zucchini holds. What remains is a small mound of vibrant shreds ready to be transformed. Into a mixing bowl go the grated zucchini and 2 eggs, cracked with practiced ease. The yolks are golden, rich, and full of promise. With a fork or a whisk, you beat the eggs and zucchini together, watching as the mixture comes alive, the yellow of the eggs weaving itself through the green. At this point, your grandmother might add a pinch of salt, a bit of freshly ground black pepper, and perhaps a sprinkle of chopped fresh herbs, dill, parsley, or chives if they are at hand. These additions lift the flavor, but the beauty of this recipe is its simplicity. It shines with only the bare essentials. Some flour is sifted in, just enough to bind everything together. A tablespoon or 2 will do, though your grandmother measures by eye, guided by years of experience. The mixture should be thick, but still spoonable, holding together without being stiff. If you like, a spoonful of grated cheese can be folded in, a luxury for special occasions, but always optional. Now the pan is set over medium heat, a slick of oil shimmering as it warms. The first spoonful of batter sizzles as it hits the surface, and the kitchen fills with the comforting aroma of something good beginning to cook. Patience is important. Let the fritters cook slowly, turning golden and crisp at the edges while remaining tender inside. When the bottom is browned, flip them gently. Each side takes 2 or 3 minutes, just enough time for the flavors to deepen and meld. As you cook, you think of your grandmother's hands, strong, nimble, and sure, shaping each fritter with care. She would always make extra, knowing that neighbors or grandchildren might wander in, drawn by the scent. The fritters were never fancy, but always delicious, made with what was available and always shared. When all the batter is cooked, you have a plate of golden fritters, crisp at the edges, flecked with green and still steaming. Serve them hot, perhaps with a dollop of thick yogurt or a spoonful of sour cream, a scatter of fresh herbs, or a wedge of lemon to squeeze over the top. Each bite is delicate yet satisfying. The sweetness of zucchini balanced by the richness of egg. The edges a little crunchy, the center tender and moist. This dish, in its simplicity, encapsulates the essence of village cooking. It is born of necessity, making the most of what the garden and the coop provide, but elevated by the care and attention of the cook. There are no secret ingredients here, only the quiet confidence that comes from generations of practice. It is food that nourishes not only the body but the soul, connecting you to those who came before and to the rhythms of the earth. As you enjoy your zucchini and egg fritters, you remember the lessons your grandmother taught you, not just about cooking, but about life. She knew that the best meals are often the simplest, that hospitality is a virtue, and that food tastes better when it is shared. She showed you how to see the potential in a few humble ingredients, how to coax flavor and texture from the ordinary, and how to find joy in the act of creation. Perhaps, as you sit at your kitchen table, you think of her stories, how she would recall the lean years, when every egg and every zucchini was precious, and nothing could be wasted. She taught you to be resourceful, to respect the food you have, and to cook with gratitude. In every bite, you taste not only the ingredients, but the memories and love that have been baked into this recipe over time. And so, the tradition continues. You might share these fritters with your own family, passing the recipe on to children or friends, each time adding a little of your own touch. Maybe you experiment with adding a spice or two, or you serve them with a new sauce, but the heart of the recipe remains the same. It is a dish that adapts, that welcomes variation, and that always brings comfort. This is the beauty of village recipes. They are living things, growing and changing with each generation, yet always anchored in the past. They remind us that food is about more than nourishment. It is about connection to our families, our heritage, and the land itself. The simple act of cooking zucchini and eggs becomes a way of honoring those connections, of keeping memories alive, and of making new ones. As the day passes and the sun moves across the sky, the kitchen grows quiet again. The smell of fried zucchini lingers in the air, a gentle reminder of the meal shared and the hands that made it. You are grateful for the wisdom of your grandmother, for the abundance of the garden, and for the simple pleasures of good food. In time, you may find yourself teaching this recipe to someone else, your own hands guiding theirs as you grate the zucchini, squeeze out the water, and mix the batter. You will tell them about your grandmother, about her kindness and her skill, and about the lessons she passed on to you. And as you sit down together to eat, you will know that you are part of an unbroken chain, stretching back through the years, each link forged by love, memory, and the shared act of cooking. So, the next time you find yourself with a single zucchini and a couple of eggs, remember this humble village recipe. Take your time, savor the process, and let each step remind you of those who taught you, those you love, and the simple joys that come from making something beautiful out of almost nothing. In doing so, you honor not just your grandmother, but all the grandmothers who have ever stood in a quiet kitchen, turning the gifts of the earth into meals that feed both body and soul.